Hey guys, Miss Larson here to tell you all about cloning. So, you might have heard of cloning or clones, or if you like Star Wars, the Clone Wars. But what in the world is a clone and how does it get there? So, you might have heard about a sheep named Dolly. In 1997, a 7 month old sheep named Dolly became a celebrity. Dr. Ian Wilmot, a Scottish scientist, announced to the world that he had created her using a procedure called cloning. Cloning is a method that scientists use to produce a genetic copy of another individual. In other words, Dolly was a clone of her mother. Well, actually, Dolly had three mothers. One mother gave Dolly her DNA, one mother supplied an egg, and a third mother, her surrogate mother, gave birth to her. Normally, an animal gets half of its DNA from its mother and half of its DNA from its father. Dolly was an identical twin to the mother who gave her the DNA, but Dolly was 6 years younger. However, Dolly and her mother were not identical in every way. Since Dolly and her DNA mother had different experiences, they were different in many ways. Like human twins, clones have unique personalities. It took scientists 277 tries to successfully succeed in cloning Dolly. To make her, Dr. Wilmot used a complicated method called nuclear transfer. Is in this method, scientists remove the nucleus from one cell and transfer or move it to a different cell. Let's look about how that happened. And by the way, this is Dolly and the sheep that gave birth to her. So, how did they clone the sheep? Scientists took an udder cell from Dolly's DNA mother, and an udder is just there. They took a cell from there and they let the cells multiply. And then they stopped the process when they had divided enough. So the udder cells were in a lab and they were multiplying. Step two, they take an egg cell from a different sheep and they remove the nucleus. They literally suck it out. And then they put the udder cell next to the egg cell that didn't have a nucleus anymore because it had been sucked out. And they joined them using electricity. The egg cells now contain the udder cell's DNA. So by putting that udder cell next to the egg, the DNA from the udder cell, when it was shocked with electricity, was able to go into the empty egg cell. Step four, the eggs divided until they developed into an embryo. An embryo is the early stages of an animal before it is born or hatched. And this embryo is placed inside of a third sheep, which is Dolly's birth mom. 5 months later, that sheep gave birth to Dolly. So Dolly actually technically had three moms: the mom that carried her, the mom who's it's actually her clone whose udder cell was taken out, and the egg donor who donated an egg that then the udder cell's nucleus was put into the egg, and then that was put into a third sheep. So if we go back here, let's take a look at like why would you actually clone? Some people think it's very dangerous and very bad, and there are reasons to think that. I'm going to let you put your ideas about that in our activity, but why would people clone? Well, scientists have explored cloning technology for several reasons. Some use cloned animals to study or fight deadly diseases. Many people, however, strongly oppose cloning animals, no matter what the benefits are. In their view, cloning is messing with nature and should be against the law. So, what other animals have been cloned? Many animals have been cloned, including cows. Cows sometimes produce much more milk than others. And by cloning these cows that produce much more milk, the farmers could make milk more quickly and cheaply. Sometimes mice. Scientists use special mice to study diseases like cancer, and cloning them can help the scientists research how the disease progresses. And monkeys. To develop new medicines, for humans, scientists use animals that are identical as possible to each other. Cloned monkeys can help improve the development of those medicines. Why clone a sheep? There's no sheep shortage, but scientists were able to create sheep whose milk contained medicine. If sheep can or if the scientists can then clone these sheep that can produce medicine milk, then it may be possible to produce more medicine at a faster rate. Can cloning bring back extinct dinosaurs? Well, cloning is tricky. You need a very special conditions, and most importantly, you need DNA. In the movie Jurassic Park, a scientist brings an extinct dinosaur back to life by cloning DNA found in an ancient dinosaur blood. T. rex, one of the largest dinosaurs to roam Earth, lived 65 million years ago. We've never found well preserved DNA that is that old, and we probably never will. So, honestly, probably unfortunately, can never clone dinosaurs. Thanks for listening.